Okay, good afternoon, children. So now we are going to learn a new chapter, that is chapter 9, hydrogen. Okay, chapter 9, hydrogen. So what is the atomic number of hydrogen? Atomic number? Hmm?
It's 1.
Yeah, it's 1. Okay. What about the symbol of hydrogen?
H.
H. Then atomic mass of hydrogen? Okay, so now we are going to learn certain basic things about hydrogen. Okay. So the introduction about hydrogen, it is the first element in the periodic table. Okay, hydrogen is the first element in the periodic table. What do this hydrogen occupy? Left side or right side of the periodic table?
Left.
Left side, right? In the previous periodic tables, the position of hydrogen that's in the left side. Okay, but in the modern periodic table, that means present days periodic table, actually the position of hydrogen is in between the uh, alkali metals and halogens. Okay, because the reason is that the correct position of hydrogen cannot be able to determine, because it has certain similarities with alkali metals and certain properties are similar with halogens. Okay, so the actual position of hydrogen is not yet determined. Clear? So hydrogen, that's the first element in the periodic table with atomic number 1, and it is the lightest element known. Okay, hydrogen is the lightest element in the periodic table because its atomic mass is 1, right? And it exists as a diatomic molecule, H2, and it is called dihydrogen. It is always exists in the form of dihydrogen or a diatomic molecule. Okay, diatomic molecule means two atoms combined together in the form of a molecule, right? So this hydrogen also exists as a diatomic molecule in the atmosphere and it is called dihydrogen. It is called dihydrogen. So two hydrogen atoms combined together to form hydrogen molecule. It is known as diatomic molecule and its name is dihydrogen. And this hydrogen, it was discovered by Henry Cavendish in 1766. But the name hydrogen, it was proposed by Lavoisier. Okay. It was discovered by Henry Cavendish in 1766. The name was proposed by Lavoisier because it produces water on burning with oxygen. Okay, because it produces water on burning with oxygen. That means hydrogen and oxygen combined together to form water. That's it. Then in Greek, hydro means water and gen means producing. So the meaning is water producing. Hydrogen means water producing. Hydra means water, right? Then gen means producing. That's why here the name was proposed as hydrogen by Lavoisier. This hydrogen will always produce water when they are reacting with oxygen, right? That's why. So these are the basic things about hydrogen. Hydrogen is the first element in the periodic table and it is the lightest element known. It exists as diatomic molecule. So hydrogen is called dihydrogen and it was discovered by Henry Cavendish in 1766. But the name hydrogen was proposed by Lavoisier. The meaning of this term hydrogen, that means water producing. It will produce water on burning with oxygen. Have we completed the slide?
No, ma'am.
No.
Yes.
Finished, right? Okay. Then its atomic number is 1. So what about the electronic configuration? How can we write the electronic configuration of hydrogen?
1s1.
Yeah, it's 1s1, right? So which group in the periodic table has the similar configuration? 1s1. 1s1 or ns1? ns1. Which group? Which group? First group, right? Alkali metals. So this hydrogen has similarity between this alkali metals and again with halogens. Here there is only one atom present in, one electron present in hydrogen, isn't it? So there are two choices. Either they can accept one electron or they can remove one electron. In the case of alkali metals, they also have the same tendency to remove one electron. But in the case of halogens, they have a tendency to accept one electron. So now we are going to learn the similarities between hydrogen with alkali metals and again the similarities of hydrogen with halogens. Okay. Before that, the unique position of hydrogen in the periodic table. The unique position of hydrogen in the periodic table. Hydrogen is the first element in the modern periodic table. Its atomic number is 1 and it has 1 proton and 1 electron. Because the number of proton and electron remains the same, right? Its electronic configuration is 1s1. It resembles both alkali metals and halogens and therefore its position is anomalous. We cannot able to predict the exact position of hydrogen. In the present form of periodic table, always the position of hydrogen in between this periodic table. Okay, in the previous one, this hydrogen is along with alkali metals, but later the position of hydrogen is in between this periodic table. Okay, not with group 1. The reason is that it shows resemblance with alkali metals as well as halogens. That's why. And what about the number of neutrons in hydrogen? How can we find out the number of neutrons? Mass number minus atomic number is the number of neutron, right? Okay, the mass number is also 1, atomic number is 1. So 1 minus 1, that is equal to 0. So there is no neutron. Here only proton and electron. 1 proton, 1 electron. Atomic number is equal to the number of proton and number of electron. Finished. Yes, right? So the next one, resemblance with alkali metals. So the first point, that's about the electronic configuration. Hydrogen, like alkali metal, has 1 electron in its valence shell. So their configuration for hydrogen, it is 1s1. and the other elements in this group, that is NS1. So this hydrogen also belongs to same electronic configuration. For hydrogen, it is 1s1. Then the next member is lithium, right? Lithium, it is 2s1. Then next one, sodium, it is 3s1, like that. So the first point is electronic configuration. Hydrogen-like alkali metal has one electron in its valence shell. What is valence shell? That is the outermost shell. In the case of hydrogen, its atomic number is 1. So only one electron that is in the first shell itself. Then second one about the electropositive character. I told you already, when they become electropositive, only if they are donating electrons, right? And this alkali metals has a great tendency to always donate that electron and to make their outermost shell 8 or outermost shell complete. Okay, so hydrogen like alkali metals, it is electropositive because it can lose one electron readily to form hydrogen ion. So when they will lose one electron, they will convert it to an electropositive ion. H plus, Na plus, Li plus, like that. So this hydrogen, it will gives one electron and convert it to H plus ion. Then sodium, that comes under group 1, right? It will lose one electron and convert it to Na plus. Similarly, lithium, it will be converted to Li plus by donating one electron. Then potassium will be converted to K plus by donating one electron. So in the case of all alkali metals, they are ready to donate one electron and convert it to a positive ion. Okay, so the first point, their electronic configuration is same. Then second one, they have electropositive character. They have an electropositive character. Emmeline, can you please read the 2 points about the resemblance with alkali metals?
Resemblance with alkali metals. Electronic configuration. Hydrogen like alkali metals have one electron in its valence shell. Second point, electropositive character. Hydrogen like alkali metals is electropositive because it can lose one electron readily to form hydrogen ion.
Okay, that is H plus ion. Okay, then third point, that's about the oxidation state. Third one is oxidation state. Like alkali metals, hydrogen also shows an oxidation state of +1 in its compounds. We usually use 2 methods to identify the oxidation state. One thing is the number of electrons present in the outermost shell, or the other one is number of electrons needed to fill the outermost shell. In the case of this all alkali metals, they have a tendency to lose one electron, right? So this hydrogen will also have a tendency to lose one electron. So when they are losing one electron, they will get a positive charge. So +1 is their oxidation state. So like alkali metals, this hydrogen also shows an oxidation state +1 in its compounds. Usually when they are reacting with non-metals, this hydrogen will show +1 oxidation state. Okay, +1 oxidation state. So the examples are given. with hydrogen, they are reacting with chlorine to form hydrogen chloride. This hydrogen has +1 oxidation state. And for sodium, when they are reacting with chlorine, it has also +1 oxidation state for sodium. And in both cases, chlorine, that is -1. Because chlorine is accepting 1 electron from sodium and hydrogen. So that's about oxidation state. Then fourth one, they will combined with electronegative elements. Okay, combination with electronegative elements. Like alkali metals, hydrogen forms binary compounds with electronegative elements such as halogens, oxygen, sulfur, etc. So this halides with halogens, they form halides. Example is HCl. Okay. Similarly, this alkali metals form halides, that is sodium chloride, potassium chloride, etc. Then when they are reacting with sulfur, it is H2S, hydrogen sulfide. And similarly, alkali metals will form sulfides, Na2S, K2S, etc. Then when they are reacting with oxygen, hydrogen will form water molecule. Then again, alkali metals, they will form oxides, Na2O, K2O, etc. So that's about the fourth point. They will combine with electronegative elements. So the combination with electronegative elements. And Mary, can you read the third and fourth point? And Mary, are you there?
Oxidation state, like alkali metals, hydrogen also shows an oxidation state of +1 in its compounds. HCl, hydrogen chloride, NaCl, sodium chloride. Combination with electronegative elements. Like alkali metals, hydrogen form binary compounds with electronegative elements such as halogens, oxygen, and sulfur.
Examples, halides, sulfides, and oxides. Okay. With hydrogen, it is hydrogen chloride. It is otherwise known as hydrochloric acid. Okay. Then sulfides, it is H2S, hydrogen sulfide. For oxide, it is H2O. That is water. Okay. Finished? Yes. Okay. So these are the 4 points about the similarity of hydrogen with alkali metals. Okay. Clear? First point, electronic configuration. Second one, their electropositive character. Third one, oxidation state. And fourth one, combination with electronegative elements. Okay. Then next we are going to learn their resemblance with halogens. Which group is halogen? Halogens. What's the number? Group
17.
Yeah, group 17, they are halogens. Okay. Which are the members in this group, halogens? Are the members in group 17, halogens?
Fluorine.
Fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine. Okay, they are known as halogens. So here the electronic configuration, like halogens, hydrogen has only 1 electron less than the nearest noble gas configuration. In the case of hydrogen, only 1 electron in the shell, right? That means 1 more electron is needed to complete that shell. Only first shell, K shell. So the maximum capacity is 2, only 1 electron in its configuration, right? So one more electron is needed to meet the noble gas configuration. In the case of halogens also the same thing. One more electron is needed to reach the noble gas configuration. So that's the similarity in their electronic configuration. Like halogens, hydrogen has only one electron less than the nearest noble gas configuration. So hydrogen, its atomic number is 1 and its configuration 1s1. Then fluorine, its atomic number is 9. And when we write the electronic configuration, 1s2, 2s2, 2p5. That means one more electron is needed, right? Then helium, its atomic number is 2. It is 1s2. This is an exception. Leave this one. That means it can be compared with the noble gas. Okay. In the case of noble gas, that is 1s2. So in the case of hydrogen, one electron is needed to reach the electronic configuration of helium. Similarly, we can compare the fluorine with neon. In the case of fluorine, one more electron is needed to reach the electronic configuration of neon. Actually, they are the more resembles of hydrogen with halogens, but here noble gas, it can use to compare the electronic configuration. Okay. Not in the case of similarity with noble gases. Here we are using this noble gas configuration to compare their electronic configuration. Then the second point is non-metallic character. Like halogens, hydrogen is non-metallic in nature. Okay, they have non-metallic character. Then third one about the atomicity. Atomicity means the number of atoms in that molecule. So hydrogen always exists as a diatomic molecule, right? Dihydrogen. So this halogens also exist as a diatomic molecule. F2, I2, Cl2, Br2, etc. So hydrogen molecule is diatomic like halogen molecules. So first point, electronic configuration. Second one, non-metallic character. Third one, atomicity. Aditya, can you read the 3 points about the resemblance with halogens?
Yes, ma'am. Resemblance with halogens. Electronic configuration. Like halogens, hydrogen has only one electron less than the nearest noble gas configuration. Non-metallic character. Like halogens, hydrogen is non-metallic in nature. Atomicity, diatomic nature. Hydrogen molecule is diatomic like halogen molecules.
Okay. Why don't you notice this? Here it is neon, right? Its atomic number is 10, not 8. 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, right? Tulya finished, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Then the fourth one about electronegative character. When we compare the properties with alkali metals, we have learned it is electropositive in nature, right? Here it is electronegative in character. So both electropositive and electronegative nature shown by this hydrogen. Hydrogen, like halogens, has tendency to accept electron to form monovalent anion. So it has a tendency to accept electron. So that's why here it shows electronegative character. By accepting an electron, hydrogen as well as halogens acquire noble gas configuration. Okay, so when hydrogen accepts one electron and converted to H minus, and now the configuration is similar to that of helium. And again, fluorine, when they accept one electron, it will be converted to F minus, and that is similar to that of neon configuration. That's a noble gas, right? Then again, chlorine, when they accept one electron, it will become Cl minus, and the configuration is equal with argon. Okay. So this hydrogen shows electronegative character also. The next one about the oxidation state. So like halogens, hydrogen exhibits oxidation state of -1 in its compounds. In some cases, this hydrogen will show -1 oxidation state. When they are reacting with alkali metals, this hydrogen will be electronegative and this alkali metals will be electropositive, similar to that of halogens. So these are the 5 points in which we can compare halogens with hydrogen. So due to their resemblance with both alkali metals and halogens, this hydrogen has a separate position in the periodic table. It cannot be joined with alkali metals or halogens. It has a separate position in the periodic table. That's about the position of hydrogen in the periodic table. Malavika, can you please read 4th and 5th point?
Electronegative character. Hydrogen, like halogens, has tendency to accept electrons to form monovalent anion. By accepting an electron, hydrogen as well as halogens acquire noble gas configuration. Oxidation state. Like halogens, hydrogen exhibits oxidation state of -1 in its compounds.
Okay. So the next one about the occurrence of hydrogen. I told you always this hydrogen exists as a diatomic molecule, right? So the occurrence of hydrogen, it is the most abundant element in the universe. About 70% of the total mass of the universe contains hydrogen, okay? And the third most abundant on the surface of the earth. And it is being visualized as the major future source of energy. Not only on the universe, but also it is the main content in sun also, right? So that's principal element in the solar atmosphere. So along with this, you can just write principal element in the solar atmosphere. Is the most abundant element in the universe. That is about the 70% of the total mass of the universe. It contains hydrogen. And it is the third most abundant on the surface of the earth. It is being visualized as the major future source of energy. Nowadays, we are using or depending on hydrogen as a fuel, right? Yes. So it is the principal element in the solar atmosphere. Not only Earth, but also other planets also contain this hydrogen. Then the next one about the three major isotopes of hydrogen. Hydrogen has three isotopes: protium, deuterium, and tritium. What is isotope? What is isotope? That we have learned in same.
Same atomic number.
Then
Different.
Different mass number. Okay. Same atomic number with different mass number. These are known as isotopes. Okay. So here you look at the symbol 1H1, right? This one that represents the atomic number, and this one represents the mass number. In the case of protium, it is 1H1. Actually, we will write, this is wrong, 1H1 like this. Okay. 1H2, then 1H3. So this one as subscript that will represent the atomic number, and this numbers as superscript that will represent the mass number. Okay. So here their atomic number will same, but the mass number will be different. That's why they are known as isotopes. Protium, deuterium, tritium. 1H1 for protium, 1H2 for deuterium, 1H3 for tritium. And we will also use the symbols D for deuterium, T for tritium. So these are the three isotopes of hydrogen: protium, deuterium, and tritium. So can you tell me, children, among the protons, electrons, and neutrons, which number will be varied in these three? Protium, deuterium, and tritium. Any change occurs to number of protons?
Neutrons.
Yeah, only the change in the number of neutrons, because the atomic number remains the same, right? Atomic number is same with number of protons and number of electrons. But the mass number is needed to find out the number of neutrons, because mass number minus atomic number is the number of neutrons. So when the mass number will be varied, the number of neutrons also varied. So you have to always remember protium, deuterium, and tritium. These three are the isotopes of hydrogen. Their atomic number remains the same, but the mass number will be different. That is 1, 2, 3. For protium, it is 1. Deuterium, it is 2. For tritium, it is 3. Yes.
I didn't understand.
Who is that, Eva?
Yeah,
Sarah. Okay, okay. About the isotopes, Sarah?
Yes, ma'am.
Hydrogen can exist in three forms. Three forms. That means their atomic number is always remains the same, but their mass number will be different. Okay? That is known as isotope. Clear? So this protium, deuterium, tritium, these three are the isotopes of hydrogen. So their mass number will always remains the same. That is 1 itself. Okay. And for the mass number of, sorry, atomic number remains the same. And in the case of mass number, for protium, it is 1. For deuterium, it is 2. For tritium, it is 3. Then the method to find out the number of neutrons, that is mass number minus atomic number. Right? Mass number minus atomic number. So it will be different for different isotopes, isn't it? We can find out the number of neutron for each. Just wait. So first one is protium. Protium. That is 1H1, right? 1H1. So here the atomic number is atomic number that is equal to number of protons that is equal to number of neutrons, sorry, number of electrons that is equal to 1. Okay. Then the mass number that is equal to 1. So the number of neutron, that is mass number minus atomic number. Mass number minus atomic number. So here it is 1 minus 1. That is equal to 0. For protium, that is 0. 1 minus 1, that will be equal to 0. Then second one is deuterium, right? Second one is deuterium. So here it will be 1H2. So mass number minus atomic number, that is 2 minus 1, right? That will be equal to 1. And for tritium, it is 1H3. Okay. So it will be 3 minus 1, that is equal to 2. So the number of neutrons will be different for the 3 isotopes. The mass number and number of neutrons will be different. Atomic number, number of protons and number of electrons, that will remain same. Okay, among these 3 isotopes, the most predominant form is protium. Okay, most predominant form is protium. Then among these 3, tritium is radioactive. So you can just note these 2 points. Protium, that is the predominant form, and tritium, that is the radioactive one. And just remember this name of scientist also, Harold Seagrave. Harold Seagrave. He got Nobel Prize for separating the 3 isotopes of hydrogen. Okay, Harold Seagrave. Okay, so tell me, among these 3, which one is the predominant form? Protium, deuterium, or tritium? Protium, okay, this one is the predominant one. And this one is radioactive. Then next one about hydrides. Okay, hydrides. The compounds of hydrogen with metals and non-metals are called hydrides. When this hydrogen reacting with metals and non-metals, the compound formed is known as hydride. Under certain conditions, H2 combines with almost all the elements except noble gases to form binary compounds called hydrides. So this hydrogen, it will react with metals as well as non-metals to form this hydrides. Okay. So if E is the symbol of an element and H is the symbol of hydrogen, this EHX, that's the general formula for the hydrides. Okay, EHX. EHX. And there are 3 types of hydrides. Ionic or saline hydrates or salt-like hydrates. That's the first type. Second one, covalent or molecular hydrates. Then the third one, metallic or non-stoichiometric hydrates. So these are the three types of hydrates. First one, ionic or saline hydrates or salt-like hydrates. Second one, covalent or molecular hydrates. Third one, metallic or non-stoichiometric hydrates. So these are the three types. Clear? So when hydrogen reacting with metals and non-metals, the compound formed is known as hydrate, and this hydrogen combines with almost all the elements except noble gases to form this binary compounds. Then there are three types of hydrates: ionic or saline or salt-like hydrate, then covalent or molecular, then metallic or non-stoichiometric. Shabari, can you please read the names of three types of hydrates?
Ionic or saline hydrides or salt-like hydrides, covalent or molecular hydrides, metallic or non-stoichiometric hydrides.
Okay. So we can learn about each hydrate detail in the next class. Okay. Have you completed the slide?
No.
Okay, okay. Write down. Finish, right?
Yes.
Okay. Children, so all of you please read this portion very well, okay? Then we can learn the more about this hydrates in the next class. Then thank you all. See you in the next class. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.